Yo, so just to dig deeper on the ambition versus passion thought pattern, um, let's jump. So, for me, I don't like to highlight problems without highlighting a solution. um, so, I want to elaborate on my point some more and share a solution to what I see as a problem, the problem of ambition. And I believe that the societal programming is the basis of most of our problems. So let's look at two societies, right? Let's look at current modern day society, which is rooted in ambition. And ambition breeds compulsion, and compulsion breeds conflict. Compulsion is essentially you engaging in activities without actually wanting to. It's almost like an addiction. You engage in activities because society told you you have to, or your parents tell you you have to. So you engage in this compulsive behavior. So the goal and the driving force behind ambition is power or prestige or money, right? And these are all zero sum games. In order for you to be the most powerful person, you have to have less powerful people, or you have to take somebody's position of power in order to achieve power. That's the underlying principle of power. You need to have someone who's powerful and someone who's powerless in order for the powerful to exist. If if you want to accumulate more money, you accumulating money would lead to somebody else losing money or having less money, having less resources. Prestige is the same thing because it's all rooted in a comparison or lining up against somebody else and outdoing them. Or you have a bachelor's, I have a PhD, or I have a master's, or you have a master's, I have a PhD. You have a this, I have two PhDs. You have the 2015 Mercedes Benz, oh, I have the 2018 Mercedes Benz. You know, you went to this school, oh, I went to this school. Oh, I met this person, oh no, I actually met this person. So it's always a game that's zero sum, where it has to have a winner and it has to have a loser. And it's always a game where you have to beat somebody, you have to do better than somebody. So this ambition leads you to be focused on winning. So the intent behind your action is not pure, it's not you. The intent behind your action is to beat somebody. So you're more likely, let's just use an example of somebody is an engineer because their parents want them to be an engineer, and it's a prestigious job that makes a lot of money, but they don't like engineering. When they get into the field of engineering, they will be so focused on they'll be so focused on beating others and earning more and being at the top of the field because their intrinsic drive is from the jump rooted in external validation, external goals, external means. So they got the degree because of their parents, and they now have the mental framework of doing things for external justification, which is why in one of my older thought pattern videos about the Zen mindset, which is the overall removal of these polars. This is good, this is bad, this is meaningful, this isn't, this is happiness, this is sadness, this is that. The removal of these labels and making it neutral and just accepting everything as is purely for the sake of it. It removes the desire for external validation. So back to the engineer, this person would start doing things not because they want to do it, which is what passion is. Passion is doing something because they want to do it. So this person will chase a position or a certain salary, and in the pursuit of that, they are willing to forego other people and themselves, as opposed to passion. If this person became an engineer because they want to become an engineer, the goal is achieved every day because they are being an engineer. They are, as long as they are engaged in engineering, regardless of how high of a level or how low of a level, the goal is achieved and they are fulfilled by their means, not by society's means, because society's means always changes. So you finish one level of school, by society's means you need to go to this next level of school, so you go to that, and when you go to that, there's a next level, and when you get that to that level, there's a next level, and that's what the rat race is. You always just go and and you never feel fulfilled. Then you wake up at, you come to consciousness at 80, when you actually have the time to slow down and look at everything and like, shit, I wasted my entire life, bro, chasing something that didn't matter to me. Because, as I said, you're spending time, regardless of if you're spending it on something you want to do or something you don't want to do. You have your most valuable asset, which is time. And it's not better. It's my belief that it would serve me best if I focus on a passion as opposed to an ambition. Because with an ambition, there's no fulfillment. There's only the future goal. You hear this future goal, and the entire journey, which is life and your day-to-day experience. You're never present and you're never happy. You're never fulfilled with this. But the goal is just one moment. You just hit the goal, and that's it. The goal is no longer a goal. But this, which is life, which is time, this never stops. So why not enjoy this? The cliche, enjoy the journey, is not about the destination, it's about the journey. Basically that bullshit. So that's ambition, and then passion now is, I want to do this because I want to do it. So if I'm an engineer, a mechanical engineer, and an electrical engineer comes to me and is like, oh well, I make $500,000 a year and you make $250K a year, because your framework is built on comparison and seeming higher up in the power hierarchy based on whatever metrics you're given, which is how much you earn annually or whatever bullshit metrics that society places value on, and you have also begun to place value on. You just set yourself up for failure. It's like there was this Alex Hormozy tweet where he was like basically talking about do something for the sake of it being done. And I think I kind of touched on that in the Mind Dump video. Do something for the sake of it being done. Do it and operate as if nobody else is going to see it or acknowledge it or like it or dislike it. Nobody is going to know it exists. Do that. That is what art is. And for me, it's the same as that's what passion is. You You don't make a masterpiece for the sake of external validation. You make the masterpiece because the masterpiece is the goal and the creation of that piece is the goal, outside of external validation, outside of whether people like it or not. So if your passion is farming, your passion is sustainable agriculture, and you decide to build a sustainable agriculture company, the goal isn't building the company. While you are building that company and you go through the daily struggles, that is the goal. Because at that point, you are passionately involved in something. You are involved in something that you genuinely like. And whether that is the number one company in the world or the 100th company in the world, you will be fulfilled because you are doing what you want to do, not for external validation. So I hope that makes sense. Just to simplify the concept of passion versus ambition. And this is programming from young. When you draw a painting, when you do a painting or you do a drawing, when you draw a painting, when you do a drawing, and you show it to your parents and they're like, oh, good job. You set yourself up to feel bad when your parents say, what's that? Or when somebody else say, oh, what's that? I don't like that. Because you build yourself up through the positive, so you can be broken down through the negative. Whereas if you simply do for the sake of doing and the outcome is irrelevant, you're kind of anti-fragile in a way, you know? It's like you can't be broken because you have achieved already. But achieved is more of an ambition thing. There's nothing to achieve. It just is. So that was just I hope I made sense. That was just me. I was just reading and it just came to me. So I hope that makes sense. It does make sense to me. Actually, I do hope it makes sense to you. This is just me documenting it. Just focus on your passion, focus on what you love, and I feel like most of the conflicts will be gone because I have no reason to impress you. None of us would have any reason to impress each other. None of us would have a reason to fight over ideologies. Like, why do I care what you believe in? Why do I care how much you make? Because based on my framework, how much you make affects me because of my internal measuring stick of, oh well, this person makes this and I want to be better than them. So it's like, let's just use money in society, once you make enough to fulfill what is a good life for you, that's all that matters. Because all that matters is your existence, bro. Your time on earth. Have no rules. Like Alex Hormozy spoke about this in his book $100 million Offers. There are no rules. And then the concept of zero-sum games. Naval Ravikant also touched on that topic as well, of zero-sum games. Simon Sinek also spoke about infinite games and just playing the game for the sake of the game being played. Like these arbitrary metrics that society places on us is so irrelevant. It's like putting yourself in this imaginary cage. Like you are putting yourself in this cage during the most important time of your life. It's like you create this imaginary lane to drive within. This lane, and you just stay within this lane that doesn't exist, and you just continue to drive in that lane. You don't like driving in the lane, but you just drive in that lane because you have been programmed to believe that this is the only lane and this is the lane to drive in. Now, bro, I don't even want to drive. That's what I believe. That's what true. I don't want to use it with happiness, but I believe that's what true existence is, bro. Just doing it for you. Just understanding what your terms are and living by that. Period. And that's not good and that's not bad. That's it. You just live by your terms. But I personally believe that passion and pursuing what you love and what you intrinsically desire, and again, it starts with loving yourself. It starts with self-love. In the least corny way, it starts with self-love. If you truly love yourself, there's no way you are going to live a life where you are doing something that doesn't benefit or please you. Like, why would I do something that I hate for the rest of my life, bro? You basically hate yourself. You're doing something you hate for the rest of your life. You don't want to do it. You don't necessarily think this doesn't necessarily fulfill you, but you don't have enough self-love to say, you know what? Let me remove myself from this and figure out what I want to do. Because you might know what you want to do, but at least you know what you don't want to do. So you should stop doing what you don't want to do and do what you actually want to do. Or try figuring out what you want to do. And that in and of itself is more fulfilling than doing what you don't want to do. Figuring out what you want to do is more fulfilling than doing something you know you don't want to do. I kind of confuse myself, but it definitely makes sense. So yeah, that's just basically me going deeper on the concept of ambition versus passion. I highly recommend Krishnamurti think on these things. Definitely recommend Naval Ravikant's podcasts or the Almanac of Naval Ravikant. I definitely recommend Alex Hormozi's interviews, specifically the one with Graham Stefan. And I definitely recommend Zen Mind Beginner's Mind by something Suzuki. Yeah, that's just my 2 cents on ambition versus passion.